As I'm trying to line up my bodywork, I have a problem, and I'd love to get some advice if anyone knows. But here's what's going on. So I have my two doors lined up vertically. I've leveled them up. And look at the tops there. Basically, the door on the right, which is the driver's side door, that one sits on the car really well. Gaps are decent, and I can make that one work. The door on the left, I have a pretty major problem with. I can't get it closed very well, and the reason being is this tip right there jams up against the shroud. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. As I pull back, because I've got everything lined up, I'm measuring, trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. So I measured from the bottom up to the style line there, and 16 5/8 on both sides. So both doors are looking identical at that point. The problem is when I get up to this point, I got at least a 1/4 inch difference. And then by the time I get up to the tip here, you can tell I got a 1/2 inch difference. And that's where it's jamming. So if I set up the door to get my panel gaps and the style line working on the bottom section of the door, the top section jams. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know. I mean, even if you look back further here, you know, that's not remotely level. So the driver's side door is dramatically taller. And I say dramatically, I mean, we're talking a 1/4 inch, but when you're doing body work, that's a pretty big deal. I don't know where to go with this. Do I have a bad door? This door clearly came from a different source. It's black where every other panel on the vehicle was white. So I suspect it must have been damaged at some point and replaced. I think I might have a bad door, in which case I might have to replace it. Or I don't know if somebody's got some details on how to align this thing. I'm kind of stumped. So it's amazing what desperation will do to your attitude. So once I got really frustrated and I decided that the door was just bad, I decided I couldn't make it worse. So I clamped a steel bar on the outside there, and I just reefed on it. And the result is I'm a lot closer, and I think I'll be able to make this work. If nothing else, I can tweak it just a little bit more, and I think I can get there. So I guess it just takes an attitude adjustment, and you got to get Western with it sometimes. I'm getting ready to weld on my rocker panels. I finally got everything lined up door-wise, and I realized that there was no drainage built into this thing. So I pressed in some, I don't know if you can see that, I pressed in some weep holes. Basically, I went to my vise and put a nail essentially behind it and some pieces of metal on each side and pressed, and I created a weep hole there, and I created 2 weep holes up there. I don't know if they're in the right spot, but they certainly can't hurt. I believe this one is going to be the low point for the whole thing, and then I'm going to spray some paint in there too, but I wanted to give water a spot to get out. So now I'm going to start welding.